You're just joining me, I just wanted to let you know this is the first time I've ever done this Facebook Live thingy. Instagram Live went out the window because I just didn't have time. As a matter of fact, just a few short minutes ago, I was up in the attic pulling down out of the storage archive up there some felt ball garlands that I've had for different holidays and things so that I can show you some examples. What we're going to do tonight, again, is kind of give you the basic overview of making HandBEHGFelts garlands and stringing them on different cords or ribbon or anything like that, adding in embellishing components to everything and reshaping and stuff like that. And once you've got the basics, and we're going to do the basics in a game day garland tonight, but once you've got the basics down, then kind of the ideas start going, and it's easy to put other different things together. So first things first, let's talk about cording. If you ordered one of the kits and it was 15 feet, 5 yards of hemp cord, you know, just kind of like this garden twine-ish cord. This is actually my favorite cord to do garlands on. When I show you my examples here, all of them are done, most all of them. Yeah, it looks like most all of them are done on this cord. Why do I do that? Whether you choose to expose and see the cord or cover it, you know, so that you don't see it at all, it's durable. And it's really affordable and inexpensive. However, you can get them on spools like this from the hardware store. You find it garden twine like this, not only in the hardware store, but in the craft big box stores, stuff like that. They have spools of this kind of stuff. And don't get it too thin. And you don't want to get it too thick either, because then it becomes a challenge to pull that cord through thickness, double thickness through a ball. But this is the kind that I specified on the event. This is the kind I really like. Other good things to use are yarns, heavy yarns. I like wool yarns or double thicknesses of a cotton yarn. What do we call this? Baker's twine. Baker's twine is a good cord, good sturdy cord to do garlands on. If you're a needle pointer, some of your heavier pearl cottons work really good for garlands. And even a full strand, all 6 strands of an embroidery floss work really well too. So with that being said, we can get started on the cord. Tonight I'm going to show you on the garden twine type cord. Once you've decided what your cords are and you've gathered the balls that you want to string and that sort of thing, decide if you're going to do any kind of embellishing on the balls whatsoever. And what I mean by that is, tonight I turned my 3cm felt balls into Buckeyes. So I just glued some little hand cut out rounds of felted salvaged wool, and I glued that right on to the ball. Boy, that thing got away from me. Woo. Here we go. So just glued that on. The key with embellishing is making sure it's completely dry before you start threading this stuff on there. So another good thing to do is to reshape them. So these 3cm size balls are ideal where you can, you know what I just thought of just this moment? I should have made footballs. Here we're talking about game day garland and I didn't even think to make footballs. But you can reshape these felt balls. They're solid wool. You dunk them in a bowl. Just get yourself a small bowl of hot soapy water. Dunk the balls in the water. So they don't have to be completely saturated, just enough wet that you roll them in between your hands like this and you can shape them, and then lay them on a towel to completely dry. I mean, you want them completely dry before you start stringing them on garlands. You can also embroider on them. So if you've got embroidery floss or you like to needle point and you have that sort of thing, you can embroider on these things also. here's a couple. I had to get up in the attic to get these earlier, but you can do different things like embroidering on them and stuff like that. These just happen to be egg-shaped ones that I pulled out because I knew I had embroidered on those. But that's just a regular needle and thread that you would use to embroider with, and then you just bury your threads or your ends into the felt ball itself. So we've talked about cord, we've talked about the felt balls. Felt balls, just to backtrack a little bit, you can do any size felt balls. I've got 4 different sizes: a 3 centimeter size, which is this size here, a 2 centimeter size, which is a step down. I've got a 1.5 and a 1 centimeter also, and I'll show you examples here shortly of how you can use those in different ways. So felt balls, you've got a cord of some kind. Next thing to talk about is the tool. This felt needle is a tool specifically to kind of work with the felt balls. It's got a giant eye on this thing. See? Can you see that? It's got a nice, big, generous sized eye on it so that you can thread heavier cords on that. Then on the other side is this kind of flat, pointed thing, and you're going to actually, it's a rocking action, and we'll show you that in just a second. It's a rocking action to get it through the ball, to kind of separate the fibers and then be able to pull through. The last thing you want when stringing felt balls is a pair of needle nose pliers. This is just your garage toolbox variety. You don't need anything special. Please don't use your fancy jewelry pliers to do this, because we're going to really kind of yank on this, and I don't want you to destroy those delicate ones. Use the garage door, I can't even speak right. Garage varieties, what you have out in the toolbox. All right, so tell me what you want to see. Christy, you crack me up too. Do you want to see samples first, or should we just get into stringing and follow up with samples? Anybody? 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 Hello? 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 All right, let's just get started. All right, so those of you that are actually stringing along with us, let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is actually make a hanging loop on the end of your garland. So we want to take about 6 inches, and if you don't have anything to measure with in front of you, 6 inches is about here to here. So take your 6 inches. I've actually got a ruler on my table, and fold that in half, just like that. And then while you're holding right here, let's just make a knot and bring it down to the edge, to the end of that cord, and give it a good tug so you've got a nice loop on the end. And then we're going to go ahead and put the other end in the eye of the needle. Now, once I get this in here, I'm going to pull the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. All right, now that we've got that ready to go, just pull it through just a little bit. Don't pull the whole thing through, because that means double strands have to go through that ball for a longer distance. So just pull it over just a little bit. Let me now, I'm going to move the camera so that you can see what I'm doing on the surface here. All right, so what I did, and is there a way I can't see? Oh well, I'm going to talk and you try to follow my hands. I have laid out here on the table, in line here, the order I want to lay out my balls. In that Game Day Garland kit that I had on my website, you got 4 3 centimeter balls, the cord, and then also 36 of the 2 centimeter balls. And now I've laid them out in the order I want to string them on the table from left to right here. And end to end to end to end, it's about 40 inches. But I'm not gonna string them close together end to end. I'm gonna leave some spacing in there. And you secure the balls in place with knots, and that's what I'm gonna show you how to do next. So what I've done is done some stringing and some balls here, and then I've got increments of space in between the sections, and then I've locked the balls in place where I want them with knots on either side. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do now. So here we go. Be sure that what I'm about to show you, be very, very careful not to damage your furniture, because I actually use the surface of the table to help push the ball through the tool. And you don't want to put dinks in your beautiful dining room table. Put a piece of, I've got one of these craft mats down, or put it a cutting board down, or a piece of tile down, or something to just protect your surface that you're working on. So we've just to kind of recap what we did here just a few minutes ago, is we made that with 6 inches of twine. We folded it in half and made that knot right at the edge here, so that we have something to hang the finished garland with. Okay, 15, just a little background too. The reason why we started with 5 yards or 15 feet is because that's a manageable length of cord to work with. Much more than that, you're going to have yourself a big rat's nest. You certainly can do much shorter than that, and I'll show you some examples here in a bit. But 15 feet or 5 yards works really, really well, and is a manageable length. So first things first, looks like I have decided I'm starting with the white ball. So the flat end, I like to put my thumb right here on this flat end, and with the rocking action, I just push that needle through with my hand, and you can see they're dense, so it takes a little effort, and then I pull it down to the end like that, and you can sometimes get it through with your hands, but really that's what the needle nose pliers are for. So with the needle nose pliers, grab with the shank of the needle, and then just twist the ball off onto the cord, and pull the full length of the cord all the way through to the end, to that knot. Just like that. So we've got the first one in place. Now, knotting between balls just requires some practice. This is how I do it. I hold the felt ball, I make a loop, and hold it with my finger here. So I'm holding that cord right here with my finger. And then with the loop, put the needle through the loop. So as you can see, if you're working with too long of a length of cord, you end up having a rat's nest on your hand. And it gets easier as time goes on because the cord gets shorter, obviously. So hold that cord. Oops, and I didn't even, look what I did it backwards. Do over. Got to make sure that when I pull it through, it's actually going to knot. And then with my fingers, I'm just actually pulling the cord right up next to the ball, so you got a knot. Okay, so next, I'm actually going to do a finger's width between each ball. So this is what I'm going to accomplish here. I want to spread mine out about a 1/2 inch apart. So this is the first knot that was next to the loop, theoretically. Put on a ball, then made the next knot. And then what I'm going to do next is just hold my finger, because I'm going to do a finger's width distance. Hold that right there, and then repeat the same process. Make a loop, go through the hole, pull the cord through, and then don't drop your loop. Hold it, don't move your finger either, and then just push that knot right up next to your finger. Right there. So you can see then I've got a finger's width distance between that ball. That's about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. If you don't like where it's at, don't pull that cord tight, and adjust your loop or adjust your knot closer if you want. So just don't pull it too tight that you can't move it to where you want it to go. And then once it's where you want it to go, then pull it tight, just like that. All right, so then the next color. We're gonna do this again. Again, it's a rocking action. You can even twist a little bit. I like to make sure that there is a little bend to the needle to help that rocking action. But I like to make sure that the center of the needle kind of is going through the center of the ball. So watch for that too. So it's on, shank, and pull. And then hold that ball and just pull the string all the way through. All right, let's do it again. Loop, insert the needle through the loop, hold that loop as you're pulling the cord through, and then pull it down in place. Does that make sense? All right, now I'm going to space it again. So I'm just going to finger width, make my loop, and then that looks pretty good. Before I pull it tight, I'm going to actually move it just a little bit tighter, and moving it puts it right where I want to go. I'm going to put one more on and then show you the next thing. So if you need to, on your protected surface, put the eye of the needle down and then gently push down until the ball comes through, or the needle comes through the top of the ball. All right, one more time. Loop, needle, and then pull it through. And now it's secured in place. You don't have to knot on either side of these balls, but I like that they don't move that way. So, you know, they don't move around, or when after you store it for next game or next year, they haven't shifted around on you or anything like that. They're in place. You just hang them right back up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead from here, let you all that are actually stringing along, go ahead and string along while you're watching as I go through the rest of this, and then I will show you how to finish the end. Actually, I lied. I changed my mind. I want to show you what it looks like to put one of these larger felt balls in. So I've decided in advance that I'm going to go ahead and put 3 inches between my 3 balls here and that felt and that large 3 centimeter ball. So I'm going to measure out 3 inches and put my finger right there on that spot. Make my loop, string the cord through, and then push the loop. Don't move this hand. Don't move your fingers. Keep hold of the cord, and then with your other hand, just push that knot right to the spot that you're holding. So, and there we have 3 inches. So if you look here, you can see that I've got 3 inches between the knots. Same principle applies to the larger 3 centimeter balls, just requires a little bit more effort. Since I've got the little Buckeye wool part here on top, I'm going side to side. So I'm just gonna, with a rocking action, make my way through the center. And gently pushing the needle tip through. It looks like I'm center all the way around. Pulling it to the end. Needle nose pliers, pulling it through. It's rested against the knot I just made. Gonna make my securing knot on the other side of the ball in the same way I've just described, and knotted it in place. So I've got these 3 with about, a ½ inch or a finger's width between each ball. Then between here and here is about 3 inches. Then as I go on, we'll do 3 inches on the other side, and then continue with groups of 3 of those felt balls then also. So you get it all the way through and you get it all the way finished. And here, you don't need to see, I'll bring this up a little bit further. Hello. Okay, so I've got my last, I've strung this whole thing, okay? I'm down to my last ball that I want to put in that last group of 3. And let me just put it on there real quick. But here it is. What did I do with my needle? Here it is. Oh, see, if you mess it up too, you can just clip. Got my scissors. Gotta put my goggles on so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, I got a flat cut edge now, and that'll go right through that needle. All right, so, oops. Let's try this one more time with the right hand and see if that makes a difference. And it does. There we go. So let's put the last one on. Ooh, did you hear my wrist pop as I shook that? Ooh. All right, through. I'm down to my knot. Now let's finish. So we started with, remember we measured out 6 inches, folded it in half, knotted it at the end. Knotted it at the end to make that hanging loop. We're going to do that at the end. Rather than putting the secure knot at the end of this last ball on your strand, just measure out your 6 inches, like that. Fold it in half at that point. Don't cut this off yet. Fold it in half at that point, and then just make that knot again. Just an overhand knot. Nothing fancy. And then pull it in tight next to the ball. Once you're sure that's where you want it, that's the length of the loop you want, then just pull it in there tight like that, and then just clip off your excess. Okay? So then you get your game day garland done. You've done it in your team colors. I've done Ohio State colors in this particular example. I've embellished my 3 centimeter felt balls with some extra wool to make a buckeye, but you can do footballs. You can do all kinds of different things by reshaping them. We talked about that earlier in the video. And don't worry, guys, I'll post this as soon as I figure it out. I'll post this video on the Facebook page, on the HandBEHGFelts Facebook page, and I'll also put it out on YouTube if I figure out how to do that. So I do have a channel out there. I have some videos out there, but it's been a long time, so I'll put this out there. So the other fun thing you can do is add additional embellishments to here. I've added some strips of fabric just to kind of give it some little extra fun and bling there. And that, all I can recommend to you is you just need 1 inch by 5 or 6 inch lengths of fabric. I'll show you how to do this. Let me let's come back down here. Clear out some mess here so you can see what's going on. To add this on here, I've got some, to kind of go along with my Buckeye theme here, I've got some red and gray fabric strips. But all you do is, let's see, I'm going to start with red, is I just take this 1 inch strip, kind of give it a little fold like this, in half lengthwise, in the short way, make a loop and put it underneath, can you see that all right? Put it underneath the cord and then bring the ends through the loop. We used to do this little knot to start macrame projects all the time back in the day, remember that? And then just pull those tight like that, and then do the same thing and just add different colors. It doesn't look like much, just like this, but when the whole thing's finished, it looks awesome. So I'll do it again. Just fold that 1 inch strip by 5 or 6 inch length in half. Hold it like this so that you've got a loop. Lay the cord on top your double fold and then push the ends through the loop so it's around the cord. Did I get both ends through this time? I did. And then just pull on the tails, like that. So you just got a little loop like that. You could also, if you wanted, just to overhand tie them on. You don't have to knot them. It's not necessary. There's not that much friction on these or anything like that require you to double knot those fabric embellishments or anything like that. So I'm going to scoot everything out of the way here and show you some other examples that I went in the attic. Oh, see that guy back there? Look. This is Garland too. This scarf that I made for this Frosty and Flaky project, this is just Garland, and that's the same concept, stringing 1 centimeter felt balls. This is actually heavy wool yarn, and then I knotted in between, but wouldn't that be fun in a long length of Garland too? I think so, but that's the same concept. So you can do it with the larger felt balls, or you can even do it with the smaller ones too. All right, so this one actually I took just a few minutes ago before we started, took this off the mantle in the other room, but you can string these felt balls and then use wool or fabric or salvaged wool. And actually I went out to a teacher's page out on Google somewhere and found, remember in grade school when you'd get all those pretty ditto sheets and you could just draw or color around different leaf shapes and stuff? That's exactly the kind of website I found, and I printed out a bunch of big leaf shapes, free, and then just sandwiched the cord in between 2 layers, and I don't know if you can see this, but there's two layers of felt here. And then just with my sewing machine, if you sew, you can embellish, but you could glue that too. So you could glue that together, but just stringing then the felt balls in between those sorts of things and different leaf shapes. Look, I've got kind of an oak leaf, or what kind is, I don't know what kind of leaf that is. I don't know, sure. That's an oak leaf for sure. And there's a maple leaf, but you can just do that. So glue or sewing, one way or the other. One of my other, this is a fan favorite here. I actually post this one out every year because it's so popular. I get so many hits on the website for this free project idea out on the website. Came out years ago, but it's so much fun to put together. What does that look like to you? Candy corn. So that's 2 centimeter felt balls and a 1.5 centimeter felt ball, and those are strung together to look like candy corn. And then also out there, I actually have a YouTube video on how to put this little guy together. Isn't he cute? So 3 centimeter felt ball, 1 centimeter felt ball, embroidery floss, and you can bury the threads in. And then I used wire to make little feet. And I go through in detail in that YouTube video on how to do that. But putting that together, isn't this fun? I will tell you, honestly, the wire legs on these do tangle up, and it takes a minute to untangle everything before you hang it up. But that's just the nature of cuteness, I think. Get that out of there. But it's just cute, right? Cute, cute, yeah, cute, cute. So those are fun. That's a free project idea out on the website. You should go check that out. All right, so we showed you, how we put those little things on our game day garland here. You can put other found elements. You can make little embellishments to put on there. Or do you have a sack of Grandma's wooden spools somewhere? We used to have these all the time, and whenever you can find them, pick them up, because it's fun to make garland out of that too. And so I made this Christmas garland a long time ago. I put it out year after year after year, and this is just a matter of tying on those 1 inch by 5 to 6 inch strips and tying them on to there. So here I've got a 2 centimeter ball on either side of a wooden spool, and then have spaced it out to put the larger ones in there. Isn't that fun? Fun. So now, if you're really ambitious, look at this solid one. I've actually used some silver craft beads. I went to the craft store and got some bells, but I did a solid strand of felt balls on this, and I used actually all 4 sizes of the felt balls. I think my light just went out. Somebody's watching me, I think. So 3 centimeter, there's 1.5, 2, and 1 centimeter in here. And then this is a ton of fun, just to hang on the back of a door, even its full length, just hanging on the door during the holidays, and that makes some noise. Or if you want to make something cute to hang on the door to make sure the kids aren't sneaking out at night, if you know what I mean, that's a good thing to do too. All right, so before I hang myself, take that off, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up Easter. So moms out there, remember these terry cloth boo-boo bunnies we used to make? You put an ice cube in it or whatever. You saw them at showers all the time, baby showers all the time. But you can go to, what big box store and get those super duper cheap, real thin washcloths and make your boo-boo bunny. There's plenty of tutorials out there on the internet to learn how to do that. And then when I strung it, I strung the end through its bum, right down through the fold. The cord goes right through here, and then out the front with the nose. And then I actually added a 1 centimeter pink felt ball so that you had a little nose. Isn't that fun? Carrots. Can reshape those like I described earlier. Let those completely dry. You can sew on some felt strips or embroidery floss or anything like that on the top and make little carrots. And then here's one I did that's got little embroidered face chicks on it with the feet. There's a how-to video on how to shape those feet. All you need is the wire, needle nose pliers, and you can do that. So now you make these beautiful things and you want them to last, right? I can tell you most of these I've made are 5, 6 years old, some of them. They go back a while. 2015, 16, maybe even 14 if I'm being honest. How do you store them? They're solid merino wool. So you want to treat your finished garlands no differently than you would your nice wool sweater. I actually store mine in 1 gallon Ziploc bags, close them up so that they're airtight, and then that way the nothing gets into them and they stay dry, and store them that way. Again, you can reshape them, dunking them in hot soapy water, rolling them between your hands, let them completely dry before you embroider or try to glue or string or anything like that on them. So for not having done this before, I hope it's okay. I know I make a lot of weird faces on here, but that's just how I roll. Let me know what you want to see how to do next, right? I've got all kinds of different things. If there's particular out on the website, there's all kinds of free project ideas. There's a lot of ornaments and games and different things that you can make for the kids. Jewelry. Jewelry makers love felt balls. I know my daughter Brennan, she makes these game day earrings and incorporates a lot of felt balls and school colors and things. With those jewelry makers, love to work from the felt balls because they just go through in there. If you're making whether you're stringing, this tool or this needle is perfect for making pilot holes in felt balls that jewelry finding and wire and different things can go through. So whether you're stringing or making a pilot hole to make it the ball out of or make a bead out of the ball, that's what you want. And on the back, when you order one of these needles, these tools, there's some actually instructions on the back that kind of reaffirm what I told you about gripping it tight and rocking it through and all that kind of stuff. And there we go. So show me what you're making, and be sure on this post, I'll post the video out on the website, be sure and let me know what you want to see how to do next. There's, again, a lot of free content out on the website that you're welcome to go out there and download. Be sure, and while you're out there, to sign up to be on my blog. In addition to the felt ball side hustle I got going on, I do a lot of sewing and quilt designing. I have a lot of other projects and stuff too. So if there's things you want to know how to do, or you want some clarification on an instruction in one of those free tutorials, instructions that are out there, just let me know. Happy to help you. If you want some direction on what to order, or if you want some direction to make some game day garland in your school color, you want some recommendations of what colors to use for a particular school or team, just let me know and I can point you in that direction too. Have a great night. Happy Friday, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. I don't even know how to turn this thing off.